What's good? What's good? What's good, my brother?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Ain't nothing. And back with another Breaking the Narrative podcast, BTN for short.
Yes, sir.
I'm Teddy,
Tony.
and today's topic is it's kind of something I guess we could have did this anytime, any point in time. This could have been one of the first episodes. Yeah, but we're here now. You know.
What, like 30-some episodes in?
Yeah, yeah. We got to do something special when we hit it like 50, right?
Yeah. Maybe. Like, I don't know, hit him with like a 2-hour joint or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw a party or something, man.
Throw a party? What? A party on the microphone, pause.
Yeah, we can have multiple guests over. That's a milestone. Not a lot of, you know what I mean, podcasters is out here, and that's getting to 50 that's a big deal.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I've been a part of a few podcasts where couldn't even get to 10. You know what I'm saying? So,
I mean, yeah, it's an accomplishment.
yeah. But today's topic is bro code and whether or not it still exists.
Yeah, this is gonna be a very hey, we both feel the same way about it.
Yeah. So, for those not in the know, we're going to break down what the bro code is. So, bro code is essentially unwritten rules, even though the rules may be spoken of. Then I guess it depends on how you grew up and where you grew up, and if every area has different rules. So we're just going to generalize a lot of things. So the bro code is you and your bros have an established, albeit unwritten rule book as far as like what boundaries there are within that friendship.
It's like showing a mutual respect.
Yeah. So every single friendship has some type of code. Whether it's a bro code or females, I don't know what they call it, cis code, or I don't know, girl code. So bro code, we can get into as far as like a bunch of things. We can go over the whole female thing, like no dating your ex. I can't date your ex. You can't date my ex.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Variables that come into the situation, because I did have somebody ask me once I discussed this topic idea just to see if it was a good topic. Ask me like, what's the grace period as far as like that goes when it comes to bro code, which is a great question.
Yeah, like I feel as though it can be a grace period or something like that. Because if you find out that such and such is dating now, they're currently dating somebody that you dated back in elementary school or middle school, high school.
Yeah, well, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so there are some boundaries to that, but at the same time,
It's still, well, high school, that still would be like slightly like awkward. Like imagine, elementary school and middle school is one thing, but let's say like your senior year in high school, and you got about 4 or 5 best friends. I'm just making this up. You got about 4 or 5 best friends, and you have a girlfriend, and let's say y'all was dating for about 3 years, and now that's what 2011 type of thing. Y'all break up. You and your boys are still close. Like the 4 or 5 friends you have, y'all still close to this day. But one of your boys now is dating your ex. So, although you might be okay with it, there still would be like, damn, that's kind of awkward. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I mean, it depends on how long it's been. Like you said,
10
like what's the how many years?
10.
10 years. That's fine to me. I don't give a shit.
But it wouldn't even be like slightly awkward to you.
I don't know, because I haven't been in that situation. So I can't really give you something that I haven't personally experienced.
Right.
So I believe in my heart of hearts, if I'm truly over a person, I don't give a damn who she dates.
Right.
So if my boy was like, hey, you mind if I date this, such and such, have at it.
Yeah, see that now, because we can't get into to like what the proper protocol is as far as like trying to pursue a female that you feel like it might hinder the bro code.
Mm,
Now, if a guy does something like that, that's like they're showing respect towards what y'all had.
yeah,
A lot of guys don't do that.
yeah. I mean, it also depends on how the friendship is going at the moment. Because there are
Yeah,
some
like
friends.
there's just all right. So we're not gonna say like a perfect friendship, but we're gonna say like there's no hostility or beef or anything.
Yeah.
You guys still talk here and there. You know what I'm saying? A few times a month, still hanging out here and there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just like one day the conversation just comes up like, yo, you remember such and such? You dated all them years ago. I was thinking about talking to her. Like I said, if he approaches you like that, I feel like it makes the situation a lot smoother and easier.
Yeah.
Versus like you just waking up one day and you hop on Facebook and be like, oh, such and such is in a relationship with such and such. You're like, damn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That would be somewhat like thinking about it now. Like my reaction would be kind of weird depending on the physical nature of the relationship in
Right.
front of me and shit. I mean, not to say that I'm insecure about anything, but it would be kind of like socially awkward in a way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just be
because
a little,
of
yeah.
like if you see like somebody who you used to deal with, and it's like, oh, she kissing another dude like right in front of me. I mean, I'm not feeling insecure. It's just that I feel kind of weird about it because like that's where I've been there.
Right. Like, damn, that used to be me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that could create like a whole bunch of other mental like problems, I feel like. Because then it's like how human nature is, even though you can try not your best not to do it, is like, I feel like the comparison factor eventually starts to like sneak in. Right?
Yeah, that happens more often than not. I've seen it happen
Yeah.
a lot.
And it's just like, damn, this nigga must be better than me or something. They lasted this long. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I don't know.
It takes somebody who's really confident in himself to really like look at that as, you know what, it's just another dude. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like you got to be really confident within yourself to pull that off. But some people aren't as well put together,
Right.
I would say. So more than likely they'll just be like, damn. So I mean that could have been me. But then later on that could cause them to be like, man, should I have let her go? No, that shit.
All it takes is that first initial thought,
Mm-hmm.
and then everything else after that is just, it's a growing garden.
Yep. And then now you hoping that they break up and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like stuff like that happens.
Facts.
So I can say that with me personally, I probably I know I'll end up having somewhat of a socially awkward moment where I'm just like, well, I don't know how I feel about this because it'll be somewhat like an uncomfortable feeling because you're seeing somebody deal with somebody that you dealt with already. It's like, oh, should I had sex with this person or I was kissing on this person. Now she's doing the same thing with somebody else.
One of your close friends.
Yeah.
Though. Like one of your. So now, what about the other perspective of like, do you feel like that would hinder your friendship with your bro?
It's a possibility.
Yeah, I feel like it.
Because you would want to be around. You want to be around your friend, but with it being such a socially awkward nature between you and the female, you'll be like, well, she kind of can't be around. That's how a lot of people will feel in that sense. Well, I'm not going to say a lot of people, but there are some people who will feel like that in that sense. They'll be like, well, if you're going to be around you, I can't really have her around because then that makes it a little bit awkward. And then I start to feel a certain way.
Right.
And then that kind of takes away from the energy that you and I technically have when we together. We just chilling, having fun. And that kind of like saps a little bit of the energy out the room.
Right.
So I understand. And then there are also the other perspectives, the where dudes are like, well, yeah, she come along, ain't no problem. Like, you can go ahead and chill.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing like that. That's when you know you really are over a person, when you're okay with them doing that shit.
Yeah.
And like I can, for me, I don't know. I'll probably be like a little bit half and half.
I feel like I would too. Like I feel like so much will have to like come into play. Like, am I in a relationship? Because if you're in a relationship, then odds are you probably, like you say, you're not gonna really care.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it's just a bunch of the what if factors.
Yeah.
Like it
The last thing you wanted to be a third wheel.
yeah, and then it's like your best friend and your ex, or one of your best friends and your ex. Like, how did? Because for me, I'm a overthinker. So it's like, how did this come about?
Yeah.
Like, no matter no matter how long it's been, or like some point in time, they both looked at each other and deemed each other attractive.
Yeah, and you wonder if it was like,
Right,
while y'all were dating.
exactly. And then it's just like, you know, this whole time I've been showing her all, you know, and she auditioning to be his girl. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like so much with like, that's why I said I kind of feel like it would be like awkward, because it was like I would have to hear like a backstory. Probably wouldn't even believe it.
Probably wouldn't even believe it.
Yeah, I would have to hear a backstory, like, cause you know once something like that happened, you know how human nature is. You kind of get the piecing your own stories together.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Probably when I brought her to that picnic and she had that little dress on. You know what I'm saying? Or yeah. She had that little sundress on. I knew niggas was looking at her. You know what I'm saying? Or
Wasn't he that nigga that brought her the plate?
right. Yeah. So, man, he did y'all like pour out drinks and shit. She probably liked the way a nigga pour drinkers. You know what I'm saying? Just any little thing and just
that
like,
little slow pour with the little fins coming up on it.
Yeah. I knew I shouldn't have let them play that damn board game together. But
Monopoly strikes again.
so yeah, so much would come into play where it's like I would rather it just not happen.
Yeah. I personally like. I believe love, like it can find its way in anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there are also the little time frames that play in the part. Like if it's like a 10-year window, and I'm just like, you know what?
Well, yeah, a 10-year window is probably cool.
Matter of fact, I wouldn't even go like 10. I was like maybe like a 5-year window and shit.
I don't know.
I think I'll be cool with that, because by that time I'm like,
might be a little too small for me. I don't think I can fit through that window.
I don't think we could fit through any window.
Yeah, so we can fit through a 10-year window. That's like one of them ballet Jones. Uncle Phil and them. Fit through one of them Jones. I don't know if I could, 5 years. That's, what's this, 2021? That's 2016. Nah, something was going on fishy in that. You know what I'm saying? Like now, that's too soon. I don't believe. Like somebody was eyeing somebody this whole time. 5 years ago. That's not even a long time ago.
You would probably feel the same way with a 10-year window.
I probably would. That's how I know. Like a 5-year jump, definitely. Like I'm definitely on some. Nah, somebody was feeling somebody this whole time. Technically, since y'all together, y'all both was feeling each other this whole time. You know what I'm saying? Niggas probably then in my imagination gonna get to running. And, they probably secretly meeting up, devising this master plan to, you know what I'm saying, get me out the picture. Now I'm thinking like all the arguments were staged, and you know what I'm saying.
Hey, bruh.
Just everything. I got the Doug Funny imagination. You know how he get in a situation, and then all of a sudden he just like he thinking the ultimate worst of what.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's.
My man got the nematode imagination.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I would rather it for my own mental well-being. I would rather it just not happen. 10 years, cool. 5 years, hell no.
I don't know, cause a lot could happen in 5 years. So, cause we started the podcast and stuff a year ago? Like right. Already almost 50 episodes in. Like a lot can happen. Like we started the Four of a Kind, like a year and a half ago.
That's creating content.
I understand that, but it's
Like-
like so much can happen.
Yeah, that's crazy. I just can't buy it, Need my money back. Can't buy it.
Give my money back. All right, bro. Like you, it's like Lil Wayne, bro. You gotta hold on to the receipt, man.
Yeah. So as far as the rest of the bro code goes, I mean, we'll probably touch back into that. But as far as like other bro code mechanics go, whereas like we were taught when we were younger, like no matter what, you always got your bro back.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel about that? And do you still feel like that's a ongoing practice nowadays?
I feel as though it's an ongoing practice to the other person's detriment. Because what I believe, not everyone deserves your protection.
Okay.
Because there are people who would deliberately get into situations because they know you're there.
Right.
So you have to pick your spots. I remember I was in a situation where the bro code is supposed to exist.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna get into names. You probably already know who I'm talking about with this situation because I told you before.
Mm-hmm.
It's at the bus stop, and a friend of mine getting into a fight off of some gang related shit.
Right.
They're about to fight. Niggas expecting me to jump in. Like, no, I'm not gang affiliated.
Right.
I jump in. Now I'm immediately affiliated with you and what you got going on.
Right.
That's not my problem. So you start all of this, you finish it. Because this started when we were at the school.
Right.
So you talking all of this, they come at you, you looking at me like I should have did something. No. You started this. You got this whole gang affiliated shit. You deal with it. That ain't something that I'm trying to be a part of.
Right.
Like, I'm about to go to my senior year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be a Crip before I even get a chance to graduate.
Right.
That's not what I wanted for myself. So you deal with that. And that's supposed to be, at that point, that was supposed to be a bro. Like we spent a lot of time together.
Right.
But your actions it's not gonna fall on me.
Right.
You are deserving of this because this is what you asked for. So I believe there are times where you have to pick your spots, but there are moments where it's warranted.
Right.
Because let's say you walking down the street and two dudes come up and they about to jump your man just because he's there.
Right.
That's different.
Right.
Like if you're gonna be like if he's not expecting any of this, then your retaliation is warranted. Then you can look at it and say, you know what? I got to do something about this. This is not going to happen. What I did do, like just to like further my point, like beforehand with the little thing at the bus stop, I did like back him off, just be like, chill. But nigga, this is after the whole scuffle moment.
Right.
But I did back him off, like I was like, go ahead, like chill. And niggas walked away. So it's not like I didn't do anything.
Right.
I still managed to at least diffuse the situation.
Right.
But I wasn't going to jump in and start fighting. If them niggas started swinging, I'm backing the fuck away.
Right.
But on the other hand, if somebody walking down the street and then my man's just is about to get jumped for nothing because there's just some two dudes that feel as though they want to be big and brawling and want to just fight people for no reason, then we have ourselves a problem. And I have no other choice but to get into that because that's somebody that I care about, and I feel as though his safety is more important than my willingness to want to fight, really. Because more than likely, we was having fun. I'm not even in the mood to do so. But because this is somebody that I care about, protection is key. You want to feel as though like you have somebody's back or somebody has yours. If you're gonna be in a really close friendship, that same thing is like when you're in a relationship. You want to feel secure.
Right.
If you don't feel secure, then there's no reason to be around them.
Right.
Like if you was to go outside and somebody was to try to jump you and be like, this ain't gonna happen. Point blank, period.
Right.
Like this ain't gonna happen.
Right.
And if they choose to back off, that's on them. If they don't, then we got ourselves a problem.
Right.
So I think realistically, you should be able to pick your spots, and I think the bro code it's still followed. However, there are ways of looking at it as there are loopholes in it.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel as though like at this point I haven't broken any of the bro codes yet.
And they're just, a lot of it can be manipulated based on influence as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because starting off as like a kid, when we moved to Maryland, it was like I had got like, and I kind of wanted to save this with the other podcast as far as like childhood versus adulthood. But since it applies here, maybe I can just give a little bit of both of them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So when we first moved to Maryland, like I never was like a outside body.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So now, mind you, it sounds crazy to say that, but when I moved to Maryland, I was 7. So it ain't like 15 or nothing like that. I was 7 when I moved here, but 7-year-olds here versus where I came from, completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Like 7-year-olds was outside here.
Yep.
And they was like, they not your average. You know how you see your friends now? Oh, yeah, my son's 7. And then it's like a little innocent little kid running past. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, our 7 wasn't like that. You know what I mean? Like, our 7 and 8-year-olds was like 13 and 14-year-olds. So by the time we got to high school, I felt like we was already like grown mentally anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like when I first moved here, like I was getting jumped on the strength of like I wasn't from here. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah. So it's like I didn't have no friends. I just moved here. Like I would call my big bros, but the age difference in us is so big they would go to jail for helping me fight off other kids. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it was like I had to meet people. Like basically, it's the evolution thing we were talking about. You adapt or you perish.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to adapt. So I had to become cool with certain people who I knew we could establish like this code.
Yeah.
Because that's what my big brothers would explain to me, like about having a bro code. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it was like in the sense of like you said, picking and choosing spots. No, you're not going to go out looking for trouble just because, you 5, 6, 7 deep and you feel like you can cause havoc. You don't go out looking for it.
Mm-hmm.
But if it ever arises, well, now you're protected from it.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah. And it's like different eras of my life, it was just like always making sure the foundation of that was intact.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like I can give you like perfect examples. Like when I had moved to Surrey Square, we moved to Surrey Square in like 96, 97 or something. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. By 2000, it was a vastly different situation than 97.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, because everybody was in on that code, like, damn, I got your back, you got my back. Because, like I tell people all the time, the area was so chaotic. Like, people think it's chaotic now. 20 years ago, this shit was, like, chaotic. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how Forest Creek gets like a lot of love now, but back then every neighborhood was almost a Forest Creek. You know what I'm saying? Like, you couldn't walk through anywhere And we were kids. Like, just imagine, like, the older people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, teenagers and up had it hard.
Right.
Pause.
And we weren't even that yet. We was like 9 and 10. And you might could get jumped. Like, you know, I got jumped. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're like 9 and 10. Like, so like I said, when I moved to Maryland, everything was so new to me. You know what I mean? So it was like establishing this code where it's like, yo, I know you're not going to go out and be on some knucklehead shit. Like, I know you're not going to do that, Mike. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody approaches you with a problem, I know it's like, because like you said a few minutes ago, it's just people messing with you. So we have a problem with that. Like, nah, y'all niggas know how certain niggas is. You not going to mess with him. I like to fight me. You know what I'm saying? Because every group has a couple of those type of niggas.
Yeah, that's facts.
Yeah, like I've seen that plenty of times. I wasn't one of them niggas, but I also was the type of nigga, like, I understood, like, yo, I can't let nobody touch my man. You know what I'm saying? Like, when it came to, like, a Charles, or when it came to, like, Jew, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, Jew technically is a fighter. Charles technically isn't a fighter. They both will fight, but Charles would rather not. I would rather not fight. But I know, worst come to worst, I know these niggas got my back. And as long as it ain't something that these niggas provoked, you know what I'm saying? Then it's like, it's whatever.
Yeah, that's why I think a lot of the hood beefs came from and shit. It's like somebody provoked something, but it's like everybody wanted to be on the same. They want to be on the same wave, but everybody else say, "Well, it's the bro code. We gotta protect our own and shit." Even though they the ones that started it, now we got ourselves a problem with other niggas in other areas that we didn't have a problem with before.
Right, exactly, and that's like, because that's another thing I could get into is like, that's why I kind of stepped away as far as like when it came to the hood thing, is because, and we had this conversation before, it's because being glorified, living in like a popular neighborhood or something like that, it does has its perks. You know what I'm saying?
It does.
Yeah. So it's like, you say you from a certain area, there's like an aura around that area. People, you know,
They tend to leave you alone
or whatever.
Show you a certain amount of respect because you come from that
right.
area.
And you've seen that, like, nowadays. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's good that comes with it, but it's just like the reason that it all happened kind of got out of hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just supposed to be like, this our area. And I don't know if it wasn't Ray Lewis or whoever used to do the underarm. We must protect this house. You know what I'm saying? We can't let nobody come around here and just.
Oh yeah, I think that was Ray Lewis.
Okay, yeah. So you can't let nobody come in the area and just not from here and tear shit up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But for me, and it's like, it's difficult to stick to the bro code when it's such a mass amount of bros. Because you got your own personal group, but collectively it's a city.
Yeah.
So when you would go to like go-go's and they'll be like, oh, okay, Forestville is in here, or Forest Creek is in here. You know what I'm saying? And you had beefs with like different other neighborhoods and stuff like that. I kind of got away from that aura because I started to notice that I'm mostly an out and about type of person. Yeah. And a lot of other people weren't.
Yeah, they'll stick to their area
right
through and through.
And I'm not that kind of person. Like on a good day, I could be anywhere in the DMV. I would be in Southeast. Now I can't go because I got problems. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And nigga want to go to the basketball court over at Watts.
Right. Now I can't go. I might want to go, like, you know, out Virginia. You want to go to Pentagon City. You go there, now you see somebody you got problems with because they going there too. You know what I'm saying? And then now it's just like, because everybody's not going with you, now you're by yourself. So you're an easy target. So now it's just like, yeah, I kind of back away from the whole representation of neighborhoods in that kind of installment versus like me just, yeah, we represent Forestville, but we're trying to build an alternative image for it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
I get it.
yeah,
It's like a lot of people, they're so focused on just such a small sample size of the DMV. It's just like they're cut off from what's the greatness that's already out there. Because most of the people, they'll say, well, I'm from this area, I'm from that area.
mm-hmm.
And since you're labeling yourself with an area, you're limiting yourself to the access you can possibly gain.
Facts.
So if I was to say, well, I grew up around 41.
Okay.
Just hypothetically, let's say I grew up around 41. And then I come around here just saying, well, yeah, I grew up around 41. You know, I'm around here. Like, that's not, you're limiting yourself. Because chances are there are some people out here that don't like it.
Right.
So you're limiting yourself based on your putting a stamp on a specific area that you grew up in.
Facts.
Like, I could literally just, I grew up in Upper Marlboro.
Right.
Nobody's ever had problems with them up there. It's mostly white people.
All right.
But I ended up moving to Penmar,
Right.
Forestville.
Right.
Been here since I was 10.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't care about the whole idea of being in Forestville. I'm not going to let that be a label to me.
Right.
Niggas know where I lived at because they would see me outside around there. They would have to label me as, oh, he was from around Penmar. But they never really saw it as, you a Penmar nigga.
Right.
They just like, well, that's just Mike.
Right.
That's it. That's all I was.
Right. Right.
They didn't care about who I affiliated myself with. They didn't care about none of that. I was friends with niggas from everywhere. I was friends with niggas from Swan. I was friends with niggas from Forest Creek, Penmar, Hillmar, Capitol Heights. Doesn't matter.
Right.
DC, wherever.
Right.
We were cool. I had no problem because I didn't care about your label or where you came from.
Right.
And the fact that people were just they're so caught up on just the idea of, you know what, I need to stick by my hood and all that shit is pointless.
Right. If you're doing the right kind of reasoning behind it, I get it. But it's like it's the same old, same old.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the whole representing of the hood, and all you out here doing is fighting. Like you're not really I mean, from a business standpoint, you are bringing from the hood's perspective, the landlord's perspective, you are bringing notoriety to this area. So all publicity is good publicity.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So you getting killed, it's gonna look sour at first, but once they start to do things like drop prices, then people are gonna be like, oh, I mean, look at people getting killed over there, but I'm gonna live over there for a little bit. I don't do nothing to nobody. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, unfortunately, you are bringing not the notoriety you want, but you're just bringing it for the actual business itself. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you on like some type of stuff where it's like, yeah, I live in Forestville, and once I get to a certain level, I want to start buying property in Forestville, because that's how I look at it. I want to start buying property in Forestville, like even to go like stuff around here.
Mm-hmm.
Start off buying like one apartment building or something. Then you flip the money into another one, and then just start up a train. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's why it's difficult to see like people further ahead in the process around here and not really doing nothing with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Yeah. So
it's somewhat frustrating.
It is, but it's a we'll have our turn, and then you kind of could just show people how to do it the right way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as far as the bro code goes, I feel like also before we jump to like another code, so to speak, is like when I say always having your bro back, no matter what,
Mm-hmm.
it I kind of feel like that has a little bit of negative tone to it as well because it's like, yeah, you want to have your bro back, but you also gotta let your bro know when like he's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I feel like that gets lost in the process.
Okay, I feel as though that's the case too.
Yeah, like you can't be out here smacking any and everybody. And the only thing I got his back no matter what. You know what I'm saying? If anybody want any problem, like, no, I gotta pull you to the side and like, bro, you gotta stop smacking niggas, bro. Ain't nobody doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Nobody doing nothing to you. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, that creates some really like messed up individuals because they feel as though like they're invincible
yeah,
until somebody shows them that they're not. Because the only reason why they feel as though they're invincible because they have that aura of having people around them,
facts,
so they feel as though they can get away with murder, literally.
facts.
So I completely understand where you coming from with that shit.
Yeah,
Happens more often than not.
absolutely, absolutely. And then you got the other kind of stuff. I guess we just can get to the negative side of like bro codes and stuff like that, where it's really just like, just the simple, like I said, having your bros back no matter what the situation is. So say like me and you bros,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm dating a girl, and I'm cheating on the girl consistently, and you being my bro, you're not gonna say nothing. Now, while I'm not telling you to snitch, I just know it's not right. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because as my bro, I feel like you should be wanting better for me,
Yeah.
and that's not really. If I'm just messing around with a chick, that's one thing. But actually, in a relationship,
I've had this actually happen before.
I know.
Where
I feel like we all have.
yeah, I've been in a situation where I'm friends with
Okay.
friends with friends with my bro and shit. This nigga going off doing whatever the fuck he wanted
Okay.
in a relationship and everything. I told this nigga, it's like I don't give a damn about any of this shit for real, but I hate the fact that you're limiting yourself to this state because you're in a relationship trying to do the I want to have my cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
This person could easily just be out with somebody who cares about him,
Facts.
but your ego won't allow you to do what's right and let the person go and just say I'd rather be single. You just want to do whatever the fuck you want to do. And I told this nigga, I hold no cut cards if you're wrong.
Right.
Absolutely none.
Right.
And I told this nigga too, like it wasn't to his face and shit because we was technically on like the Xbox Live and shit. I was like, bruh, I don't give a fuck about any of that shit. Like you tell your girl, bruh, I don't give a shit. Tell her,
Right.
cause that shit that's not how you're supposed to be handling this situation.
Right.
Because it's wrong. And anybody who feels as though they should be doing that, I can see if you have an open relationship, that's fine. But if you're dealing with somebody and you're supposed to have some sort of exclusivity,
Mm-hmm.
then you're in the wrong regardless of how you look at it.
Right.
Even if somebody is in a situation where as though, well, they're cheating out of retaliation, don't be in a relationship.
Right.
Like if you feel as though you got to cheat back, like don't be in a relationship at all. But in his case, he was doing all the fucking cheating and shit. This nigga is showing me like pictures of girls on his phone. He's like, bro, this chick just hit me up and shit. I might go over that. And I told this nigga, don't fucking do it.
Yeah. Yeah, once you get to a point where it's like, and I'm worried of those type of people anyway, like the revenge type of, not just revenge, but like you can actually like seek revenge on somebody who's supposed to be quote unquote super close to you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's kind of scary, like to think about, so to speak. So it's like I wouldn't even want nothing to do with people like that for the most part.
Yeah. I mean, there were moments where I just stopped talking to people because they were doing shit like similar. Like if you out there just cheating on everybody and you don't give a shit how people feel and all that shit, I distance myself from you. Like at that point, you stop being a bro and you just an acquaintance.
Right.
Because if you feel as though you can do whatever you want with anybody, for real, I don't feel as though like I'm far away from being another one of those people.
Yeah, and that's the truth. And a lot of people, because it's crazy. Like you see statuses, and I know you see him, and I see him. It's like you see statuses talking about like the whole friendship, the levels to friendships and things like that. And it's like what you said is like I feel like a lot of people should like take into consideration is like just because somebody is like super close to you at a point in time in your life, they earn that spot.
Yeah.
So you have to continue to earn that spot.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you could just be like, all right, Mike, my bro now. And then you just stop doing everything that made you a bro.
Mm-hmm.
And then you still want to be considered a bro. Like, that's not how it works. Like, the same way you got to keep going to work to get paid. Like, you don't just get your first paycheck and then be like, all right, I can stop working now.
Yeah.
These paychecks going to keep coming. Like, no, it don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? And I see a lot of people just, like, they lose out on friendships. And then everybody's going to say the whole, my circle's small, or I confuse the two. What is it, an empath or... an introvert.
Oh, yeah, introvert, extrovert.
Yeah, I'm this, so I don't need to be around a lot of people, like, anyway. And it's just BS. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I be too busy, like, to maintain, like, certain friendships and stuff. And I'm like, come on, bro. Like...
If you the problem, just say that.
Yeah. Like, I know people that got 3-4 kids, full-time job, married, and still make it when we just hanging out or when we having a function or something, still got time to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, me alone, not even speaking on your behalf, but me alone, I juggle so much stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you want time to do something, you're going to make time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, point blank, period. If you like wanted to contain like communication with people, maintain communication with people, you would.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the people I don't really maintain communication with, it's like it's nothing personal. It's just that either the paths that we're on just kind of going separate ways, or no, the other party just isn't making an effort to maintain anything. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't know. I feel like that's why I'm glad you said that. When people hear that, they need to really take that into consideration. Like, it's nothing wrong with, demoting people, I guess you could say. You can say, like, you can go from best friend to acquaintance. You know what I'm saying? You can go from acquaintance to stranger. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't just have to be, like, for failed relationships, because that's the only time people seem to do it. Like,
yeah, bro, they'll stick with the toxic niggas for as long as they possibly can, but as soon as they get a good relationship and shit, they on thin ice.
Yeah, like, or they do just like, they can be in a toxic relationship. The person could be smacking them around. The person could be doing this and that, and they'll just keep going back and back. But when it comes to friendship, your friend do one thing wrong and they block. You know what I'm saying? Or y'all not friends no more. You know what I'm saying? Like,
bro, it's a two-way street on that, bro. It can go either way.
Yeah, it's so much like you be up against so much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nowadays, people won't even like. I see a lot of people won't even really make you. I see it at least on females, from females' perspective. A lot of females won't even make you a friend unless they feel you're attractive. Yeah,
that happens.
Yeah, which is like everything comes back to looks essentially, but that's what's one of the biggest detriments in our society. I feel
it's
like
either looks or what can they possibly offer me.
Yeah, and how much could they offer? And are they willing to offer? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a big thing too.
Yeah, providing a service and the looks portion plays a huge factor.
Yeah, and yeah, it's just I don't know. So I feel as far as like that code goes, it just is what it is.
Yeah, it's subjective. It depends on the person.
Yeah. Other bro codes is nothing. I guess we covered like the super main ones. I don't know if it's anyone like anything you could think of. I don't know if it's any like I'm trying to think of like specific growing up like specific codes as far as like because no snitching not snitching is not really a bro code.
That's more of a street code. That,
yeah.
To be honest, is somewhat. Well, actually, I'm not gonna say somewhat. It is detrimental to the community.
What's that?
The no snitching shit, because like they put that shit on everybody.
Yeah,
and not just the niggas that's doing street shit.
Right. Yeah,
So,
if it's a regular, if I kill somebody and my neighbor snitches on me, I mean tells them, I don't consider that snitching. I might say snitching because we just so programmed to use the word snitching. But that's not really snitching. Like unless my neighbor's involved with it.
Yeah.
Then that's one thing. But if my neighbor's not involved with it, that's not snitching.
Yeah, that's being a good Samaritan.
Yeah, like you're supposed to be doing dirt by your lonely anyway. So if anybody sees you, then
that's on you.
Yeah, that's on you. You fucked up.
And then if they say something, then the whole like group retaliate, kill them and shit. I'm like, why?
Right. And that's silly nonsense. Yeah, that's a whole nother topic for another day.
So we could have put that into like the generational curses shit. Like way back when it was like episode like 2.5 or something.
Yeah. We probably touched on it, but just didn't go into full detail.
Yeah, that was definitely a good one and shit. But
yeah,
it's as far as bro codes are concerned, like we got the normal ones like never turn on your bros and shit like that. We kind of covered that.
Yeah,
it's like you supposed to like have your bros back, and not necessarily just have his back and shit, but like even if y'all get into arguments, work the shit out and all that. But you know,
I feel like that's a bad one too, because a lot of people communication skills is just
horrible.
Yeah, very horrible. So
yeah, again, that one is also subjective. It depends on the person. So
yeah, because you can't force. That's something you can't force on like the other person. Both parties gotta wanna work it out.
Yeah, because if you get into a fist fight with one of the bros and shit, like it's supposed to be the next day, y'all can work the shit out, but not all the time though. Right. There are situations where that's somewhat deep seated.
Yeah. Like if the other bro just doesn't want nothing to do with you, that's very deep seated. That means that's been building up maybe the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it finally just like exploded, and the person was just looking for a reason to. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not even a fan of the whole fist fighting thing anyway. But I understand it happens, or it can happen.
Yeah.
Arguments, that happens. That's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we have our fair share of arguments / debates. It just.
Yeah.
And we can easily say, you know what, could have did this certain way, could have done that a certain way. We can change this. So we still come together and have a dialogue.
Yeah.
And
that's just like creative based, like, because I guess there's certain things that it just would be either like the whole, like when we first discussed the first bro code as far as like the dating your ex thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's certain means where it's just like it could be grounds for cut off communication altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Now we gave 10-year windows and we gave 5-year windows. Now, what about like a 1-year window or a 6-month window?
And that's when it becomes a little bit iffy.
Yeah.
At that point, you will look at it and it's like, this is too short of a time period. Then this must have been going on beforehand. What am I missing here?
Right. So that would be like that's when I wouldn't even want to know what the fuck happened. I would just cut both parties like off. I would distance myself. Like I can give you a similar story, not like that exact scenario, but something very very similar as to where I was dating a girl, and so I'm not gonna drop any names, but you know how everybody has their own set of friends.
Mm-hmm.
So I was dating a girl, and obviously we broke up. And I want to say like a year later, one of my friends' was dating a girl. Now, there's only but so many ways they could have possibly met, besides through my friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless either my friend put them on, or my friend's friend was watching me the whole time and plotting. You know what I mean? So it's like there's no logical situation where I would have thought I could think of to be like, oh, okay, I see how they got together. Oh, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like there's just is no, it's not. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, I do my due diligence and I pull like my mans to the side and be like, yo, how such and such and such and such get together? Like, how the fuck did that happen? And then, you know, he gives me the story, in which I told you earlier, I'm probably not gonna believe it anyway. But but I just need to I just wanna hear what you gotta say. You know what I'm saying? And so then like once he explains like, yeah, there's this and that, you know what I'm saying? Like I told him about, you know, who you was and this and that, he know, you know, blah blah blah. And then I'm like, you know, on the strength of I trust you, like we're cool. But I just can't I'm not going forward. I could be cordial with your man, just can't fuck with him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you just let him know that. Like we go out together, you know, yeah, what's up? How you been? Cool. All right, cool. You know, do your thing. You know, y'all do y'all thing. Cause me, I could be, and I know you've seen this before too. I could be like with all of my bros and still be like by myself at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just I can do that. That's just how I am. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't have no problem doing that. So if we got to be together and it's like I don't want you to feel like it's nothing awkward, like because you got your mans here and I don't fuck with your mans. Like just have a good time with your mans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like man, you cool regardless. We years in. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just not gonna be around your mans. I can still have a good time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just that's a situation where it was just like, yeah, not the exact scenario, but very similar, like a one-off.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah,
I get that. I've had times where I just look at people and it's like, you know what? Yeah, we gotta be cool at a distance and shit.
Yeah,
And it's not that big of a deal if you're not that heavily invested in the person anyway.
yeah,
But if it's somebody like you were really, really close to, and then y'all get into somewhat like an argument or
be like, damn.
yeah, it's like maybe I could have done something different and stuff like that. Once you get past that initial phase, then it starts to get a little bit easier because it's sort of like a bad breakup.
Right.
Because technically that's what it is.
Yeah.
And one time I remember, well, actually, I mean, it's not even one time. It's multiple occasions where a lot of the kids, like, you know, I grew up in Penmar. I mean, I had friends that I'm really, really cool with. But the people that they were around, I didn't fuck with like that. So when they were around their people and shit, like, we would have to somewhat be cordial, but at the same time I really didn't fuck with this person, so I would end up having to be, you know, I'll talk to my man and shit, I'll say what's up to him, but at the same time I'll just be like, well, let me just be over here,
Right.
because I don't really want anything to do with him.
Right.
I mean, they'll still talk to me, and then we'll have like somewhat of a conversation. I never really initiate any type of conversation because, first and foremost, I don't want to talk to you for it.
Right.
But they didn't technically know that because when you're younger, and shit, they don't matter to them. But to me, it's a big deal.
Right.
So all I'm doing is I'm just playing on the outskirts and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And when my man say something to me, I'll be like, yeah, and then had a little conversation. When he chime in, I'll just be quiet and shit, just let him finish. I don't respond to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Even if he has something that's noteworthy, I'll slightly chime in. But other than that, I have no reason to actually talk to you.
Right.
So that's where the bro code is just like, I don't have to be the mans of your mans.
Yeah.
And shit like
right.
that. So even now, at this point, I could probably say that I'm cool with the friend that I'm talking about.
Right.
But we grew apart. So technically we not like best friends and shit like we was back in high school and shit.
Right. Right.
It's like it's different. Like we ain't always gonna be the same that we were 10, 15 years ago. So cutting off, well, not necessarily cutting off people, but being like losing like that what you thought you had and shit is not that big of a deal.
Right.
Because I realized that a lot of the friendship that I made that's actually worthwhile didn't happen until after I left high school and shit. So it's a big difference.
Right.
Because, when you younger and shit, you feel like, oh, these niggas about to be around here forever and shit. Because the people you in school with and you're somewhat close to, you feel like this is going to be forever.
Right.
And then once you graduate and niggas start going to other places, you just like, shit.
Yeah, and it's crazy because it's like while you're in school, you're not thinking like, well, this person has to be here, which is why a lot of friendships, at least you thought you had a lot of strong friendships, but it's just like the strength of like, nah, we both have to be in this building every day. So while you're here, I'm gonna be cordial to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it goes because that's probably what a lot of people's parents was telling them. You ain't gotta like the person, but while you there, just be cordial. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So they done taught the kid how to have fake friendships and and you thinking you got a real friendship, and then like you said, once you graduate, that shit instantly drops like shit sliced in half. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's just you got the real friends. Then you've been blessed because a lot of people don't got those, and you can tell.
Oh yeah, you can definitely tell nowadays.
Yeah, like because it seems like I hate to bring up the cause and effect thing, but it fits so effortlessly in a lot of situations. Mm-hmm. But it's like a cause and effect thing because you can see like from face value we see the effects. And now it's starting to seem like that's the common cause. Mm-hmm. Like, damn, niggas ain't got no friends. Niggas don't got real friends. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, man, I don't. It's so much. It's so much to like digest.
Yeah, because a lot of the times people don't really understand like personal accountability.
Yeah.
And we've touched on this on numerous occasions, and a lot of bro friendships have been tarnished because of the fact that niggas cannot be. Some people can't be accountable. Males, females, dogs, cats, don't matter. Yeah,
in general, yeah.
Like you have to be accountable for your actions and shit. If you feel as though that it's your fault, like matter of fact, I'm not even gonna say that because a lot of people feel as though it's not their fault.
Yeah,
they're somewhat narcissistic and believe that it's never their fault, and the reason why things are the way they are is because of the other person or everybody else.
Yeah, even if you go through the same situation with multiple different people,
over and over
you still
and over
think
again.
It's just all the people.
They never break it down to the common denominator. Like you are the problem.
Right.
Like it's frustrating to think about and then actually see come to fruition. On consistently, like you see it on social media, you see it in person, you see it everywhere.
Right.
People lack the idea of accountability. They don't like it. Like, if they don't want to be wrong, like, I will easily admit when I'm wrong. I have no problem with saying that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. But people are just so.
I mean, a lot of us hold each other accountable anyway, though.
Exactly.
But yeah, even if not,
Even on the podcast and shit.
yeah,
Gotta hold each other accountable for certain things that we say, regardless of how bad it's going to affect us and shit. But at the same time, you gotta look at it and say, well, maybe I was wrong.
right.
Like, it's happened to me quite a few times. I'm just like, well, I might have been wrong in this case.
Me too.
So, with that being said, for real, like, the bro code thing is technically, like, we didn't cover, like, majority of the shit that we really wanted to cover.
Yeah, I mean, we got the main things out the way though.
Yeah.
So leaves it open for down the line.
Yeah, maybe you'll have a couple of more ideas and,
Yeah, a couple of guests.
bro code the sequel.
Yeah, we can definitely could say that for down the line, but we got the main points out the way. I really just wanted to get off the whole relationship thing. That was my big thing. That diving into that was cool enough for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but come on, man, I'm long-winded and shit. I want to talk about everything.
Yeah, we both can get that way depending on what the subject is. But
yeah, if we had Mark here, it would be a completely different story and shit. 3-hour-long podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to GQ Mark.
Yeah.
Hopefully in the coming weeks we get some fresh. I'm about to say fresh faces, but you can't see, so some fresh voices. On
yeah,
that.
man.
Yeah.
That's true. We can go ahead and have some people that, like, some people might already know or might not. It all depends on your social gatherings and who you're around.
Mm-hmm.
But all in all, bro, I'm looking forward to it.
Facts. Still should throw a party for the 50th episode. That's what I'm saying.
Bro, that's up to you, man. We over at your house.
Okay. It's gonna be lit.
Hopefully.
The 50th episode, we got 10 guests today. You know what I'm saying?
10 guests, only 4 microphones. Let's see how this works out.
Yeah. My mixer only picks up 4. I got like 6 microphones technically, but the mixer can only handle 4. So, and
exactly.
them other mixers with the, and then you can't even. It's not like you can just get a mixer and gradually go up. Like, oh yeah, I got 4. I need jump with 6. The next jump like 10. Like, you gotta go from 4 to like 10. You know what I'm saying?
Sheesh.
And that jump like $300 something. You already know. I mean, the odds of us always having 10 niggas to do a podcast. Barely got us to do it and shit. But
that's facts.
Yeah, we cool. I ain't gonna say we ain't gonna have like 10 people. We might have a few people. I mean, a couple people can share mics. Man, ain't no big deal.
Yeah,
I've done it before.
Exactly.
Yeah, had 4 mics and had 6 people on it. So
that's a fact. But with that being said, it's been another Breaking the Narrative podcast. BTN for short. I'm Tony.
I'm Teddy.
And we out of here.